it's me, Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer. You gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Vell, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Vell. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose? Just in case you didn't get the email and you bought a ticket for 3 o'clock, I'm also getting on live so you can hear from me directly. I know you about to be upset. I know you're going to be mad. I know. But I didn't know. First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one. First of all, for you to about another.
What's up, good people, and welcome back to my channel where we bond over our favorite TV shows, trending topics, and everything in between, including scammers. And speaking of scammers, while we were taking our hiatus and living our best lives, Darius Cooks, aka Darius Crooks, has still been praying and crooking. And we'll start to catch up on what we've been missing with this scampire over the past few months. So definitely make sure to subscribe to our new Reality Chronicles channel so you don't miss out on any episodes of the upcoming Inventing Darius Crooks series and much more on our new channel. And you can find the link in the description and first pinned comment below. So occasionally with our past Surviving Darius Crooks series, we would get comments here or there that all we talked about was Darius Crooks' past scams and predatory practices, and comments about how he's changed and how we're all living in the past. So today, let's change it up a bit and talk about his scam from less than 24 hours ago, from the time of this video recording.
I don't have to lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ask me everything, and I tell you everything.
Dining with Darius Cooks is a dinner party of sorts hosted by the infamous social media influencer and self-proclaimed millionaire Darius Cooks, who is also widely known as Darius Crooks for his decade plus of predatory and scamming allegations from literally thousands of people. In or around 2014 or so, Darius Crooks started having fan parties where he cooked Sunday-style dinners consisting of most of the same entrees that he's been cooking since he was 20 years old or so. And his rabid Beehive fans slop up every one of his droppings gladly. And over the years, these gatherings have faced much criticism for being illegally hosted fan parties in homeowners' Airbnbs without their knowledge or consent, with many situations ending in Darius Crooks lying about the true situations to his followers as he doxed the homeowners by sharing their private phone numbers on his social media platforms to his Beehive fans so that they can harass and threaten these individuals into submission to allow their leader to do whatever he wanted.
If people came to you and people say anything, where are the emails? Where's the messages? What's their first and last name? Where the people at? Why you ain't tagged the people? Where the people? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you gonna blame me for something, I don't mind you blaming me for it. Blame me for it, bruh. Blame me. But where are the people?
In February, a Dallas, Texas Vrbo owner called police to remove Williams when she says she realized what he was doing with her home. She said Darius had blown the electrical system by hosting a commercial kitchen dinner without her permission.
The homeowner wants us out of the home, and we don't know why.
Williams made sure to go live on Instagram to accuse the homeowner of being the real bad guy.
That outlet also doesn't work.
He canceled the rest of the Dallas events, his customers reaching out when they did not get promised refunds. No response from you at all, and no refund for the 2 tickets I purchased. I am out $430 and a plane ticket. How long will it take to get my refund from the Dallas event? He blocked me immediately without responding.
But where are the people?
And then there's the unsanitary cooking practices and lack of food service certification for Darius Cooks, which has been proven. And honestly, if the head person cooking, that being Darius Cooks, doesn't have a food certification himself, it's likely that his staff doesn't as well. Nevertheless, there are other complaints as well, including the illegal serving of alcohol during these paid fan events, and the violation of cottage laws regarding preparing food in residences for commercial purposes, which he consistently violates in multiple municipalities across the country. And the one violation that seems to get the most attention on social media is Darius Cooks' followers, past and present, who say they paid, and Darius Cooks did not follow through by canceling his fan club dinners and never refunding their money. And in over a decade of having these events, unfortunately, Darius Cooks' predatory practices have not changed or improved for the benefit of his loyal rabid followers. So in an email to his followers titled, "You're Gonna Kill Me," Cooks goes on to write, "You're all gonna absolutely K me. And all I can do is take the beating." Here it comes. "I don't know how in the hell I did this. I completely missed that we had a 3 p.m. event scheduled for today. One spreadsheet showed only a 7 p.m. I got up just now to email everyone and then realized there is a 3 p.m. for today. There's absolutely no way we could even try to pull it off. My 3 p.m. chefs aren't even in town yet. They get in this afternoon. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I'll process all the refunds immediately. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you don't get that refund, feel free to comment over here so that your comment won't get deleted like it will over there on his platform." But anyway, Darius Cooks then also decides to go live to make this announcement to his followers. And you know, this situation here could be excused. Again, if we're talking about someone who's only been in business a year, like the young man he's been harassing, who's been trying to grow his brand. Another story, we'll talk about that another time. But if this was a new business, I could see, you know, as huge of a mistake as this is, I could see people making these sort of mistakes. But we're talking about someone who's had this brand and this particular arm of the business for well over a decade. And I think this speaks to his controlling nature, because we're talking about, for one, someone who obviously, this proves it. I mean, we have many other situations that prove that he needs an assistant, really a staff that handles the business side of it, period. But this shows it. It's glaring. You have two different spreadsheets that aren't matching up. If you had your staff more involved, the staff that would be assigned to the 3 p.m. fan club party would have been able to say, "Hey, Crooks, we should be there. We're working tomorrow at 3, at least to be able to remind him." And I know they shop in advance. He's just did a live recently talking about how they shop in advance, you know, the day before and all that goes into it. That means no one knows what's happening but him. He's literally breadcrumbing his staff on what's happening in the business moment by moment, day by day. Because if they had advanced knowledge of these sort of things, they would have been able to help him catch this oversight. But nevertheless, let's listen to Darius Cooks explain this situation.
Just in case you didn't get the email and you bought a ticket for 3 o'clock, I'm also getting on live so you can hear from me directly. I know you about to be upset. I know you're going to be mad. I know. But I didn't know. First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one. First of all, before you talk about another. Yeah, I did not know I had a 3 o'clock dinner scheduled for today. When I looked up, I was ready to email everybody before I got ready to get in the shower. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a 3 o'clock dinner that's scheduled right here. So I didn't even know. I had no idea. Didn't even know. Ain't no way to even pull it together and try to do it. No way.
And what was interesting in this is his claim that he's never canceled an event before. When someone commented, here we go, another cancellation.
First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one.
Crazy, because in his response, he can be so convincing that if we didn't have our own memories, our brain, and the internet, we might buy it too. But thankfully, we don't have to rely on his words. We have the internet and we have our digital files over here. So let's dig into the crates instead.
But where are the people?
This is my experience with that certain social media chef. So, backstory, 2016, when he was first getting started with these dining events, me and 3 of my friends bought tickets. I think they were like $120 at the time to go to his events. They were promoted. It was promoted as like a 5-course or 6-course meal, whatever. We just wanted to go because at the time we followed him and we were really big fans. We go to the event and I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't even lie. Fantastic. The food, chef's kiss. Like, you cannot deny the fact that he's a great cook. Cool. So fast forward 2018, I think, maybe 2019. I think he had opened up his restaurants. I don't know. He promotes that he's doing the events again. So me and my friends are like, bet, let's go. So apparently when he opened up the tickets, our city sold out super quick. So we bought tickets to like a completely different city where we had to like buy flights. Luckily, thank God, we hadn't bought our flights at the time. Anyways, so here's where it gets, So as it's leading up to our dinner time, to the time for our event, he goes ghost. We hear nothing. We started emailing like, hey, what's the location? Whatever. Nothing. We were DMing, nothing. Then the event date comes and goes. We still have heard nothing. We've DM'd, we've emailed. We've done everything. So finally we're like, what the hell? Like, we missed the event because he never reached back out to us. So we each called our banks. We explained the situation. We got our money back. And that's when I realized, oh, he's a scamming ass nigga. So if you are thinking about going to the event, first of all, I heard it's like $289 now. It's not worth it. Second, just be careful because from what I'm hearing, he's still scamming people. So you may or may not actually have an event, but he got your money. So just be careful.
But where are the people?
And so that was Brit Janae's, and that was actually posted well over a year ago. That was her experience with Darius Cooks. Again, this is what I see a lot too, like, oh, he's never scammed me. Well, you haven't had your turn yet. And so Brit Janae was an example of someone who attended a Dining with Darius events when he kind of was getting them off the ground. She said she had a great time. The food, in her opinion, was chef's kiss, as she said. As a person who's had much of his food, it is good food for what a family member would cook. Again, I've said before, your aunt who makes a great mac and cheese, or your uncle who makes the best fried turkey. It's that, but you wouldn't want your uncle charging you $289 for a turkey dinner. That's what Crooks is giving over there. But so when I hear people say that the food is great, their palate is maybe not the most evolved. It's good. Again, it's good for regular cooking food. It's good for a Sunday dinner. It's good, somebody bringing a dish and you're like, oh, they could cook. But you wouldn't suggest that person open up a restaurant or even cater dinner events. So, it is what it is. But anyway, so Darius Cooks, again, in the clip we just watched, said that this here that we're talking about, this current event, again, I'm showing you receipts from the past to prove that this is not isolated. But he's saying that what just occurred with him canceling this event last minute it's never happened before.
First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one.
Okay, well. All right, well. So next we have Spunky Brewster was actually an employee of Darius Cooks. He likes to claim that like she's just made all this up, but she has receipts that she did work for him. I've seen emails and everything, y'all. It's crazy. He lies about everything. I've literally seen the emails of her reserving spaces and emailing on his behalf to people and him responding in the email. So 100% legit. It's Spunky Brewster. So anyway, she talks about her experience working for Darius and handling these dining events. So let's take a listen.
But where are the people?
So a lot of people have been coming to me because there is a certain social media chef that's getting dragged not only on social media, but in the news. And people want my opinion about it. And the reason why is because I have a past affiliation with this person. Now, I don't do drama. I have an aversion to it. But, you know, if something else is going on, I might pull up a seat. I might look over the fence. However, if I'm involved and if you wrong me, I have a right to speak on it. However long ago it may have been, it's still my truth. Long story short, my roommate at the time was raving about this social media chef, and I needed to check out the recipes. So I went through, browsed his site, and I'm like, oh no, this is pretty dope. But I'm also very business minded. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, it looks like he's doing everything, setting up the tripods and pushing out the information and stuff like that. I'm like, he looks like he needs some help. So I reached out to him with the proposal that, hey, I can be an assistant for you because I got, like, at the time, over 15 years of administrative assistance experience. And at first he was like, nah, I'm good. I do everything myself. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he circles back sometime later and was like, hey, actually, I do want to interview you, but I'm going to do it on Periscope. And at the time, that was another social media platform in front of his thousands of followers. I'm like, okay, that's extra, but fine, whatever. So I get the job, I do the things, and I'll say this, he definitely has a strong, I was going to say work ethic, but I don't think I want to use the word ethics in this. He has a hustle, but then he also hustles people. I won't go into those details, but what I will say is that I decided to stop working for this person when I realized it was all about the money and not about the people that supports him. But the thing that really pissed me off was this $10,000 Airbnb fine that he racked up under my good name. So as I alluded to in part one, I incurred a $10,000 Airbnb fine as a result from working for this social media chef. This was all his fault, by the way. I didn't do anything except book the places that he used to do his dining events. So we used Airbnb for that. But when I look in hindsight, I realized this was all a scam from the beginning. Now, mind you, in part one, I told you I reached out to him to see if he needed an assistant. He emphatically told me no, but then circled back around. What I recall is, like, my first week working for him, it was like, oh, I'm having trouble getting into my Airbnb. I don't know what's going on. So if you could do me a favor and just sign up for an account, and then I'll have you be the person to reach out and secure the venues or the houses for my dining events. Now, if you have Airbnb, you know it's not as simple as just signing up with your email address and go. No, you have to provide your driver's license, links to your social media. So if you're a business owner who fucks up your reputation on Airbnb, you don't have another driver's license. You've got to find another sucker to use their account that's in good standing to continue your business. Right from the beginning. So when I was on my way out, I crafted a very detailed email to him because just like he likes to show his receipts, I like to keep mine as well. And I knew a day would come when I would need them. So I was detailed. And my ask was, one, hey, I realize you've been taking taxes out of my check. So that means you plan to file taxes on me. I'm going to need my W-2, which I never got. Tax evasion. Two, I signed up for this Airbnb to support you, but now that I'm leaving, I no longer want you to use the Airbnb because, again, my driver's license and everything is attached to it, and I'd hate for something to happen and I get blamed for it because your name is nowhere on this Airbnb. Imagine my surprise when less than a week later, I get an email saying, hey, you owe Airbnb $10,000 because you trashed this person's house. And when I told this chef person about this, it was like, well, does she have pictures of what I did? Because otherwise, if she can't prove it, then, bitch, this is under my name. $10,000. This ain't no chump change. Part 3 is going to have to come. So there was that. There was the don't use my Airbnb account. And then the week after I quit, I get the fine for $10,000. He acted like he didn't care and basically was on some no face, no case. Like, if this person can't prove that I damaged her home, then I'm not paying it. So since that was the attitude we were taking, I went into Airbnb. I changed the passwords, which is key, because if all of your events for the next several months are under my Airbnb and I lock you out of it, you ain't getting access to these Airbnbs. So imagine that as soon as that happens, somebody calls you frantically like, I can't get into the Airbnb account. The password has apparently been changed. I'm like, yes, because I told you not to use my account and you did it anyway. Well, I told you I needed more time to find an assistant and I can't just do this overnight. So I'm going to ask you nicely to change the password back, because this is my credit card that's associated with this Airbnb account. I'm like, again, when I left, I told you the conditions of me leaving and you ignored them, and you've racked up $10,000. So we need to resolve this. Long story short, I basically just ended up reaching out to the homeowner to let her know that, hey, I no longer work for this person. I was not there at the time of this event. I can't say what happened either way, but you need to direct your money request to this person. Here is his information. I reached out to Airbnb and did the same. Now, unfortunately, Airbnb is like, well, it's against our rules for people to reserve on other people's behalf. And that was part of the reason why I was banned from Airbnb. But I also closed my account because I'm like, I'm not getting no money out of me, because I also had my credit card on there for my personal Airbnb usage, not because of the business. So that's where we stand. We did not end on good terms.
But where are the people?
So the connecting piece of this particular story, and why it was important to add into this particular video, is when Spunky canceled her Airbnb account or locked him out of having access to it, Darius Cooks had no choice but to cancel those Dining with Darius events. And so what ended up happening from that was that, of course, those people who had booked those tickets needed refunds. And guess what happened? They didn't get them. And so there are many, comments on social media about that time frame. And it honestly took a while to add those pieces together to say, oh, I wonder why he canceled so many events in this one, period of time. It was because he lost access to the Airbnb account, because, as Spunky said, he was hustling her, and she caught on to it and parted ways with him. And so scamming her had come to an end.
Ask the right questions. What are people at?
Nevertheless, I know. I've been doing this long enough to know that there's still going to be some who say, maybe these are isolated incidents and not actually a pattern of scamming. And to that, I will say there are literally hundreds of posts on social media and DMs myself and others have received of people claiming that they were also scammed by Darius Cooks with the Dining with Darius tickets and many other experiences, of course. But specifically, we're only talking about Dining with Darius today. Nevertheless, I know that no matter what, there will likely be people who are saying these following messages that I'm going to show from people with similar experiences are from jealous haters of Darius Cooks because he's so rich and successful, and everyone always wants to pull successful people down. I would love people to show me any other social media influencer, Black man who's successful, who is having this level of controversy and accusations and articles and all of that against him. That's a whole nother story, because he's nowhere near the most successful social media Black chef influencer at all. But moving on. And I know that there's maybe going to be some of you who are saying that all of these are creative storytellers in these comments that have all made these stories up just out of their boredom. They have no lives, so they just want to pick on Darius Cooks. Nevertheless, I'm going to show a few of these receipts, and sadly, I only have a few here for this video because I literally don't have time for a 10-hour video of receipts, which this topic alone with the Dining with Darius events could take up hours, where I could just show receipts, y'all. Literally, we just do this. But let's take a look, and y'all let me know what you think in the comments below.
But where are the people?
And so our first comment dates all the way back to July 11th of 2017, where his follower Linda said, "It left a bad taste for me. I heard so much about dining with Darius that I purchased my tickets over a year in advance for July 8th in Philly. I had to opt out of a lot of summer plans scheduled for the weekend of this event. I was excited to go. Then the day before the event, I received an email about his mental health condition, which is plausible. However, upon further research, I saw that I could find no postings of pictures for events after mid-May. The powers that be knew this event for Philadelphia would be canceled long before giving a one-day notice. I feel like my money was used as capital for his new restaurant. It is discouraging to know that after almost a month, you have not received your refund. My $389 was not easy to come by, and it was an extravagant treat for myself and my mother. I want to support, but my first experience with Darius Cooks has left a nasty taste in my mouth. You and many others." So again, we're seeing patterns here. You know, some people are going to say this is made up, that I spent time doing all this, I guess. Even though it's already out there on social media, that's where I just grabbed it from. But anyway, we then move on to D-Hiver Olga. And Olga says, "It is definitely not a one-off situation." Now, remind you now, we're talking about comments from July 24th of 2017. And I'm here telling you about a situation that just occurred March 23rd or 24th of 2023. So again, this person is dead on. Olga, you're dead on when you say it is definitely not a one-off situation.
First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one.
"I purchased my ticket in March for the October date in Charlotte. No email communication as to the cancellation of the rest of the dates, only the post on IG. The statement made about refunds coming with no definitive timeline is highly unacceptable. My bank can't dispute it because my purchase of the tickets was more than 90 days ago." That's the other part of the scam, y'all. We talked about that before. But those of you who are new to this and haven't watched our archives of videos, we've talked about this before. The part of the scam is booking these so far in advance that when people want to dispute it, it's too late. So he gets to keep the money. And you can ignore them and block them on social media and continue to gain new followers, because there'll be people who either don't know about all of this or don't believe the facts that are out here. So Olga goes on to say, "I requested a refund through Eventbrite about 3 weeks ago and nothing has happened. It is still pending, yet Darius continues to post pics on his IG stories of shoes purchased, cash, and a passport. So I want to know if my refund of my hard-earned money in that cash that he's flashing for the gram. I was cool at first, but it has gone on too long. I definitely think that my money was used as capital for his restaurant, but this is a horrible way to do business." Was a horrible way, and it still is a horrible way to do business. But again, people, do we see the patterns?
I don't have to lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ask me everything, and I tell you everything.
And this post is way back from the Eventbrite days. So that's when he canceled. It was a whole season of the Dining with Darius fan club events. He canceled tens of them, and it amounted to what's being reported as over $90,000 that he ended up owing Eventbrite, because Eventbrite eventually refunded these people their money and then kicked him off of the platform and then sued him. So that is why he no longer uses Eventbrite.
Listen, I've always been transparent. Periscope can tell you.
So moving on, we have Selena, D-Hiver Selena. This is from July 3rd of 2018. So this is a full year after the other two that we've read. And so Selena says, "Just happened to me at an event that was supposed to be held in Cleveland on June 30th. Last minute cancellation. I think he books many of these things with plans to cancel. Definitely not professional." Now, that's a theory, and we've talked about that before. We actually, I mean, literally, it's so much going on, y'all. It's too much to pull in for one video, but literally we have posts from back in April of 2022, or I should say March of 2022, where people were warning those who were buying these tickets for 2023 of the impending cancellations that could come. And that is basically, you know, like it's a crapshoot of whether or not you will actually have the event and get to experience your fanning out in person with Predator, known as Darius Cooks.
Ask the right questions. What are people at?
Wow. Okay, so oh my God, this is crazy. Okay, so I am literally in the middle of still recording this video, and I was pulling up some other images. So I'm just kind of breaking the fourth wall in this video here. But I am literally at this moment screenshotting, and I love y'all on Twitter and in the Exposing Darius Cooks Facebook group, giving y'all a shout out because y'all make my work so much easier. But anyway, I'm sitting here trying to grab some comments and all that, just doing some stuff to give y'all commentary here. And I run into a post saying that it's on Twitter already, and it looks like he only had 8 seats sold for the 3 p.m. dinner. And y'all know he ain't finna cook for 8 people. So it looks like the truth of the matter is, again, he creates the narrative, stunts and tricks. You know, he's a millennial or whatever, but he's one of them old school. He got the old school stunt queen tricks on lock. And so what he did instead of, I don't know why he still could have canceled this ahead of time, but it looks like maybe as he got closer, he was just like, I'm not going to go through that for 8 people. I don't even feel like doing it. And so although he claims that these tours are sold out, his 2023 fan club dinners did not get sold out because he started to get exposed right before that stuff went on sale. Although you'll see on social media from back then, and we have those receipts as well, where he was posting of how much money he made and how it's all sold out, et cetera, but he's constantly still selling these tickets. So it was never sold out. But anyway, it looks as though here's the receipt that there was only 22 seats and only 8 seats sold.
Listen, I've always been transparent. Periscope can tell you.
Okay, and so this complaint is actually from the BBB, the Better Business Bureau, who actually put out a public notice to consumers warning them about doing business with Darius Cooks. They don't do that, people. The organization sent out a national public announcement saying, we are warning you not to do business with this man. But we still have situations like what we're talking about today. And that literally was last summer, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, this person wrote into the Better Business Bureau and said, I received an email from DariusCooks.tv that announced him coming to an area near me where he would be hosting a dinner with fans. Yes, the fan dinners. They go on to say, in April of 2021, I purchased a ticket for June 18th of 2022. And they give the place, a day late, he released some date in where I live. I emailed him to see if I could transfer and they give the date to a different date. And it says via email, and Darius Cooks said, I could not. Today is the day of the event, and I haven't received any information about where the event will be held, the time. I have sent him Instagram messages and emailed him, but I have not received any feedback or response. I want mine, I think this is a typo, but they want their refund back, basically.
But where are the people?
So again, there's a pattern here. There are people who, even I know, again, just from covering this for nearly 2 years now, or whatever it's been, that he does not allow any changing of dates, any cancellation from them. Now he can cancel and he can no show, but they can't. And so we had one situation where Darius Cooks himself actually posted on his social media saying, Cincinnati, if you want to come to dinner this weekend, Saturday, and gives the date, there are 3 tickets magically for sale. I'll post the direct link in the comments. And he then posts an email exchange from one of his followers, and I'm not sure if they're still a follower at this point, but notice he magically only shows the response from them and not his interaction, because I'm sure it will justify their response. But that's not how he operates. He always, he creates the narrative. So this person says, I'm testy because someone who claimed to be a good business person won't provide me with basic information. I paid $645 to you a year ago, and you can't understand me wanting the date for the event? You don't keep records? You can't produce receipts? This sounds really shady and like bad business. I supported you, but you won't tell me the date? And I bet any amount of money you have a full list of names and people who bought from you. You are the only reason I'm upset, and I don't appreciate your lack of professionalism. Like, you really keep going out of your way to respond to everything other than the information for the event I paid you for. The date is not top secret, and I find it unethical that you can take people's money and not produce. And it goes on to say other things. It's cut off.
Ask the right questions. What are people at?
But this is nothing new. There's a pattern, and we talked about it before, and we're going to start covering it again. The pattern of a person who claims to be transparent and is okay with being held accountable.
Listen, I've always been transparent. Periscope can tell you.
However, every situation you see of a person attempting to hold him accountable, you then see reactions from him of this, which is basically to cut them off and then to denigrate them to his rabid Beehive followers in hopes that they will then take his side, knowing, well, not hopes, he knows that they're going to take his side no matter what, and then dog the other person. It's his nature. This is textbook for him at this point. And then we have another situation. So at a point in his Dining with Darius event, there was a coalition of people who were trying to get him to be held accountable by the law, by municipalities, etc., for holding these illegal dinner parties. Because for one, not only is he defrauding people and scamming and taking people's money and not giving them the location or information for the event so that they can attend when they've spent hundreds of dollars, because usually people are buying multiple tickets. So not only because of that, but also because these were illegal dining events in residential areas with a person who was not adhering to food and sanitation laws. So there was a health danger to this as well. And so because of that, there were people who were actually taking a vested interest in advocating for safety. And because of that, there were times where the police would show up to some of these locations. And one of these particular situations, we have the comment exchange between a few Beehivers who are talking about an event that they attended where the police did show up and demanded that Darius Cooks shut that event down. However, what he did instead was waited until the police left, and then they had the event anyway. And so this one person says, who left, they say, wait, I thought it was over and left. I was seated with all of those ladies. And then a person responds saying, did you leave because of the police? And then another person responded, we lingered, parked our cars on the other streets, and then went back in. So sorry you missed this. It was amazing. So his Beehivers are cut from the same cloth. That's why a lot of them still follow him, no matter what predatory practice and how horrible of a person he is to the world. They're for self as well. So they're probably horrible people as well. Some of them are. But anyway, so what they did was they left, they moved their cars because, again, the police, again, we have it in the comments here, people. I don't make this stuff up. I'm just reporting what's here. These people are kicked out, showing you that it's illegal, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't have got kicked out. They got kicked out. They then go to their cars. They act as if they're leaving. They left, parked their cars on a different block, and then came back once the police were gone, and Darius continued to have the event. But in that, a few people who probably have some level of standards and morals were like, oh, well, we're being kicked out. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to break the law by participating in this. And so they left and went about their business, went home, etc. And so they ended up missing out. And I'm sure they didn't get a refund either from all. I guarantee you they did not get a refund. Guaranteed. Anyway,
listen, I've always been transparent. Periscope can tell you. So
it's going to be interesting. I'm sure that we will likely end up with some comments and probably get some DMs, etc., of those who aren't going to get this refund that he's promising. Or you may want to thank me because of the fact that I'm doing this video, that he may refund this particular cancellation, because that also happens when we're on that ass. So you're welcome. And if not, again, comment over here and we'll work it out. We'll still drag his ass. But anyway,
listen, I've always been transparent. Periscope can tell you.
So, you know, we know that this Dining with Darius fan club event is definitely suffering in 2023, and which is why he's saying that he's working on his last year. He's starting other businesses. I'm not going to even promote them. But anyway, those sort of comments and the personal DMs that I get are the things that really keep me going with this story. The thing that continues to motivate me to cover a person I honestly could care less about. but I feel a calling and an urging to use my platforms to give a voice to those people who are scammed, harassed, preyed upon, and then silenced.
This is my Darius Cooks skillet too. Don't worry, it's coming back in stock soon. I'm gonna let you know as soon as it get here. I need y'all to buy all of them, okay? I got a house to buy in Orlando.
And so until there's some level of resolve for this situation, for those who have been harmed, I will continue to share these stories. And one DM I got a few months ago really has stayed on my heart. And this message says, "Hello, sir. I am concerned for my mother who wants a refund from Darius Cooks. She spent money for 2 tickets. With everything over the past year, she realized this guy is no good. With him threatening people just for asking a refund, I'm trying to help her come to a decision of whether she should call her bank and see if they could get it for her, or just eat the cost and be done with it. My mother loves your videos, so I decided I would see what your thoughts were. As also my mother is older and I don't live close anymore and can't/won't have people trying to roll up on her home. I thank you for any advice you can offer." And so, of course, I responded to this person. I won't share that personal message.
Ask the right questions. What are people at?
But these are the sort of things that keep me motivated, because everyday non-public figures, well, and even public figures, should not have to deal with these sort of situations where they've given their hard-earned money to someone in good faith, trying to support them, really trying to support them, and have the tables turned on them. And when they want a refund, they are now afraid to even try to pursue it because they are afraid to be harassed by the person who scammed them and have people show up at their homes, etc. It is just unacceptable, and it is very disheartening that someone's spirit can be so tainted and people who follow them can encourage it. I mean, you know, I've learned a lot about human nature in doing this, covering this specifically in life in itself, and humanity has some major problems, y'all. So as I've said, I've seen many comments over the past 2 years that have made me aware of Darius Cooks' continued predatory practices since the scams that I personally witnessed him commit in Chicago well over a decade ago. And many detractors will attribute these tons of recent scamming allegations as just poor business practices, him needing an assistant or just needing to learn his way. And I think that excuse works for someone new to entrepreneurship. But after nearly 15 years, if you are literally getting the same complaints from your followers and consumers and business associates that you did when you first started, we have to at some point accept that it is willful scamming at this point. So with that, if you have made it to this point in the video, definitely hit that like button to help this channel grow. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't as of yet for this channel, as well as our Reality Chronicles channel, where this sort of content will be moving to, which is linked in the description and the first pinned comment below. And with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.
If people came to you and people say anything, where are the emails? Where's the messages? What's their first and last name? Where the people at? Why you ain't tagged the people? What are people? You see what I'm saying? Like, if you gonna blame me for something, I don't mind you blaming me for it. Blame me for it, bruh. Blame me. But where are the people?
Just be careful, because from what I'm hearing, he's still scamming people. So you may or may not actually have an event, but he got your money. So just be careful.
First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one.
I don't care at all. Show out, run your mouth, pop off at the mouth. I do something called an attack. When you do the attack, you got to make sure you're real rooted and grounded. Look that way. Make sure you're real rooted and grounded so they don't know what's about to go on. You just attack them. You just attack them. What did I say? I said you better do what I said to do. Did they think you're crazy? If they think you're crazy, they'll just walk away slowly like that.
Poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest.